movie theaters don't actually make a lot of money from movie tickets. In fact, movie theaters often use sneaky tactics to convince you to spend more money. And while a lot of the ways are kind of obvious, some might be a little bit dastardly, because the outrageous markups at the concession stand are only the beginning. So how do movie theaters make a profit? Let's start off with a thing that does not make movie theaters a lot of money: movie tickets. Movie theaters would not exist if they did not play movies. People do not want to go to a room and stare at a wall with nothing being projected on it. That would just be stupid. But only a tiny fraction of movie theaters' revenue comes from movie tickets. Let's break this down a little bit. If you buy a $10 movie ticket, the movie itself did not just earn $10, usually. The movie theater makes some money, and the movie studio makes some money. But where exactly that split is depends. A 50-50 split is typical for American non-blockbuster movies, but bigger movies tend to be a bit different. The movie studios often can negotiate contracts in their favor. During the first 2 weeks a big movie is in American movie theaters, usually 60 to 70% goes to the movie studio and the rest goes to the movie theater. And some blockbusters have even negotiated 80% in their favor, some 90, and a few 100. But only for the first 2 weeks, because after the first 2 weeks, usually the split goes to 50-50. The numbers vary, but it's all about a movie's individual distribution contract. And the bigger the studio, the more they can negotiate in their own favor. Let's be honest with ourselves. When a big movie comes out, people don't normally wait more than 2 weeks to see it. You have to see the latest blockbuster immediately, or else Brad from accounting is gonna ruin it for you. So a movie theater might not make as much from the latest blockbuster as you think. All the tickets combined, movie theaters only make 20% of their revenue from movie tickets. That's right, movie theaters only make 20% of their revenue from movie tickets. So where does that leave the other 80%? I mean, obviously concession stand. But how do movie theaters use sneaky psychological tricks to convince you to spend more money at the concession stand? Concession stands actually saved movie theaters from going out of business in the United States of America. I talk about this in my history of popcorn video, if that interests you. But before we talk about concession stand psychological tricks, let's talk about the concession stand markups, because they're a lot, especially the popcorn. I was curious about the exact markup, so I picked 3 items from my local grocery store and compared them with the same item at my local movie theater. Obviously, this is a subjective experiment, but you know, this is what I found. Dasani water bottles, marked up 60%. Coca-Cola, 135%. Twizzlers, marked up 142.9%. I mean, let's be honest, nobody's probably surprised that movie theaters mark up the concession stand items, but the popcorn markups are ridiculous. Reader's Digest claims that a $5 bag of popcorn, which, you know, where are you getting a $5 bag of popcorn, actually only costs 37 cents to make. Movie theater popcorn has a markup of 1,275%. I'm sure there's variation in that number, but the point is, the markup on popcorn is a lot. But just because movie theaters have concession stands does not mean that people who are going to see a movie have pre-planned to buy concessions, and movie theaters do not like that. So they have a bunch of psychological tricks to convince people to buy their food, because obviously movie theaters want to make as much money as possible. Movie theaters are masters of sneakily getting you to buy their food. Am I a master of sneakily getting you to like this video? Because the higher the view to like ratio, the more YouTube pushes this video out. I don't know. You can tell me that. But movie theaters are amazing at encouraging concession sales, and that's by design. You may have even fallen for their tricks. I certainly have. When you walk into a movie theater lobby, a common trick is to have the main concession stand front and center and the movie screens somewhere else. They're just somewhere else. This is intentional. You're supposed to, by design, see the concession stand first, and then you have to figure out where the screens are. You're not rushing off to the screen because, where is it? Oh look, popcorn. So what this does, intentionally, is exposes you to a concession stand. Even if you walked into the movie theater and you were not planning on getting food, which, I mean, seriously, who are you? You're greeted by the smell of fresh, buttery. Actually, hold on, I wanna make this a little bit more dramatic. Hold on, give me a second.
Fresh, buttery popcorn, oversized soda, Coke or Pop.
Depending on what part of the country you're from, or world, I don't know.
Amazing candy.
This is stupid. Anyway, you're supposed to realize that you want popcorn or a beverage or, whatever you want. I don't know your life. A movie theater is a contained space, just like a theme park. You pay the markups, even though you would not pay that same price at Walmart. But let's say you somehow resist getting any concessions on your way in. Good for you, loser. After you somehow find the movie screens, because that's an expedition apparently, you might encounter a second concession stand. This location should have shorter lines and gives you another chance to buy food. Again, this is intentional. Now let's say you somehow resist the second concession stand and you make it into the movie theater with nothing. Don't even know how you did that. You're now in the movie theater and the previews play, like the commercials for car dealerships or Nuvi, but they also throw in commercials for the concession stand. Because the movie theater knows that you're bored, and psychologically, bored people who are waiting for something often like to eat. It's a strategic tactic. But when the movie trailers actually start, they often sneak in a little commercial for a concession stand in there. But here's the plot twist. If you haven't bought any concessions by this point, the movie theater has basically given up on you. The reason? Movie theaters serve a lot of food that's salty, and they know that salty food makes you thirsty. So if you're sitting in a movie theater eating salty popcorn for about 15 minutes, waiting for the movie to start, your mouth is dry, isn't it? That salty popcorn is making you thirsty. You weren't thinking about getting a beverage when you walked into the movie theater, but now that you're trapped in a movie theater for the next 2 hours, you realize just how dry your mouth is.
Oversized soda, Coke or Pop.
So that sneaky food ad during the trailers is not for people who have not bought food. It's for people who have bought food but don't yet have a drink. And the drink advertisement is specifically designed to remind you that you're thirsty. There's been 2 identified reasons why people often skip concessions at the movie theater. Number 1, long lines. Number 2, high prices. If you're in the high prices category, the movie theater doesn't care about you because they're gonna charge what they're gonna charge. But if long lines are the problem, the movie theater can work with that. It's not about your convenience, it's about them making more money because they think that you wouldn't spend your money if you had to wait in a line, so they're trying to get your money. So here's some of the things they do to reduce wait times. There's the secondary concession stands, like we talked about earlier. There's mobile order. There's food delivery to seat, all to make more money. So I have a question for you. Do you get popcorn when you go to the movie theater? Let me know in the comments. Initially, popcorn was banned inside movie theaters, even though people tried to sneak it in. A lot of them only started having concession stands so that they could stay in business. If you want to know about the history of movie theater popcorn and how that impacted movie theaters, please click on this video next. And thanks for watching.